I get it, you're staring at a pile of lawn care options, and the fear of dropping a few $100s on the wrong mower keeps you up at night. You've probably seen a handful of best tow-behind lists, watched a couple of shaky demo videos, and wondered if any of those machines will actually handle the mix of hills, thick grass, and that one stubborn strip of weeds that always seems to survive. You want something that won't chew up your time, won't break down the first time you hit a ditch, and most of all, you want to know if the price tag is really justified for your yard. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Earthquake Acreage Tow Behind is marketed as a rough and tough solution for larger properties, and that phrasing does more than sound rugged. It hints at the kind of work this mower is built to take on. If you're a homeowner with a half-acre or more of uneven terrain, or a small-scale landscaper who needs to move quickly between jobs, this is the class of mower that shows up on the checklist. If your lawn is a neat, flat 5,000 square foot rectangle, you might find a smaller self-propelled push mower more convenient and cheaper. That's the first line that separates the should buy from the skip it. Let's break down the everyday setup. The mower arrives on a 2-inch ball hitch, which means you'll need a tractor, ATV, or a garden cart that can accept that size. Most mid-range lawn tractors have a compatible hitch, but if you only have a basic riding mower without a ball coupler, you'll have to buy an adapter or a small utility tractor just to make this work. That's a hidden cost that can catch first-time buyers off guard. Once it's hitched, the 44-inch steel deck drops into place. The deck steel construction is the kind of thing you notice when you're dragging it across a ditch. It holds up without bending, and the extra width really cuts the number of passes you need on a big lot. Power is where the Earthquake leans on its Briggs and Stratton 17.5 HP engine. For a tow behind, that's respectable. It's enough to keep the blade turning at a solid speed, even when you're mowing a thick, damp patch after a rain. In practice, I've seen it hold a consistent cut on a 10-inch tall fescue stand without bogging down, which is the sort of scenario that would make a homeowner with a Lazarover-like lawn think twice about a push mower. The electric start with a built-in battery takes the guesswork out of pulling a cord on a cold morning. Just press the button, and the engine fires up in a couple of seconds. That convenience becomes a real time saver when you're mowing early before the kids are up. Now, the manual blade lever is a simple but practical feature. You can raise the blade instantly when you hit a rock, a garden hose, or a patch of mulch you want to leave untouched. Because it's manual, there's no electronic sensor that can fail. You get a tactile click and the blade lifts. The downside? You have to remember to lower it again, and if you're new to tow-behind mowers, it can feel a bit abrupt compared to a hydraulic lift. The learning curve is short, but it's something to keep in mind if you're used to push-button adjustments on a push mower. Height adjustment on this model is done through a series of pins that you slide under the deck. The range is decent for most grass types, from a low 1.5-inch cut for a manicured look to about 4-inch for a more natural, low-maintenance feel. Because the pins are metal, they stay put even on bumpy ground, which is a plus for anyone who mows a property that isn't perfectly level. A practical downside shows up when you need to change the height frequently during a single session. Say, you start in a tall, wild area and finish in a trimmed garden bed. You'll have to stop, locate the pins, and move them by hand, which takes a few extra minutes. If you need quick, on-the-fly changes, a hydraulic mower would be smoother. One of the selling points the manufacturer highlights is adjustable offset mowing. In real-world terms, that means you can set the deck so the cutting swath is slightly wider than the wheel track, allowing you to overlap passes and avoid missed strips. For a yard with an irregular shape, that offset can save you a pass or two, which adds up over large acres. The trade-off is that you have to set the offset correctly at the start. Set it too far, and the mower will start to pull to one side, demanding a correction on the steering. For most users, a modest offset of a half-inch is plenty and doesn't cause handling issues. So, who should walk away with this mower? If you already own a compatible tractor or utility vehicle, have at least a half-acre of land that includes some hills or thicker grass, and you're comfortable with a